We're going to go into our tea in the streets segment, but first we're going to play a quick disclaimer. You know, we got to cover ourselves, so go ahead and play that disclaimer.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right, so we're going to start our Tea in the Streets segment. I have a quick video to play for you guys, but before, I just kind of want to tell you a little bit about Tea in the Streets. It's a new segment that we started where we kind of talk about current events that are going on, but we try to center around pop culture. But, you know, that could be anything. That whatever the tea in the streets is, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to bring to you. So go ahead and play that video.
I got my cup. Come on, let's spill the tea.
But then days after settling this lawsuit, another woman came forward and filed a SA complaint against him. This woman claimed that P. Diddy had drugged and raped her while she was a college student in the year 1991. Of course, P. Diddy denied this claim. On the same day that the second woman came forward claiming that P. Diddy had assaulted her, a third woman came forward. This time, she stated that P. Diddy and his friend Aaron Hall had taken turns her and a friend 30 years ago. This woman, who's going by Jane Doe, stated that when she was 17, she was approached at a lounge in Michigan by P. Diddy and the former president of Bad Boy Entertainment, Harvey Pierre, and she was then convinced by these men to take a private jet to a recording studio in New York City. This woman claims that once she got to the recording studio, she was given substances and she was viciously ganged by P. Diddy, Harvey, and a third assailant who remains unnamed. Now, for his part, P. Diddy has denied all these allegations, said that these are people just trying to ruin his reputation, basically take his money.
Okay, so as you guys know, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, we talked about the allegations that came out with Cassie and P. Diddy, who were in a long-term relationship. And that lawsuit was settled, but this was kind of an update that came out after, and more women are coming forward. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, it's giving R. Kelly. It's the same situation, you know, and I think
Bill Cosby.
There you go. And so like it's all just like kind of coming out. And I that's why I want to also emphasize the importance of like coming forward, because you don't know how many other women or just people in general, or guys
because allegedly there are also, it's not just females that have been abused, and
you don't know what your like you coming forward is like doing. It can inspire other people to come forward about their story, because it really just takes one person.
Well, that's in anything that you do. And then I'm going to go back to my thought on this whole situation. It takes a strong person, even if you've been victimized. That's almost like the beginning of your healing, when you can start to talk about it. Get you a village around you, get you some people that can love on you, and while God give you the strength to come, you know, to talk about it. But definitely, you need to talk and come forward. My thought on this whole thing, I probably drive Brother Carter crazy, because I'm listening to all of the stuff that's kind of going on with this P. Diddy thing. It really hurts me, because I am a survivor of assault. And so as I hear this, and he even asks, why are you listening to it? Why are you listening to it? I think about all of the people that feel like victims, and they feel like they are less than, or they are dirty, or they are unworthy. If I can leave anything to someone that is listening that probably have been abused or taken advantage of, you are worthy. Your voice is important, and you are a survivor. You are not a victim, and you matter. So this whole thing with P. Diddy, I hope, I'm not going to say if it's true, I hope that justice is served.
Okay. I got one thing on this, because I'm disturbed right now, because I heard a guy name involved in this, Aaron Hall. That's my guy. You know, what's going on here? How did he get in this? And then
Right.
what is really going on around here? And I also want to say too, to the guys that been involved in this and that been taken advantage of. You know, that's a hell of a pill, I think, to swallow, especially for a guy. A hell of a pill for a woman, but a major pill for a guy to be able to come out and speak on this matter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to encourage you to, you know, in this day in life, it should be a little easier to be able to go out and speak about these things because there's so much. It should be, but men are men, and it's.
Well, I don't think it's even a man thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a victim thing and shame.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we have to learn as human beings is to have compassion for someone else outside of yourself, someone outside of your family, and just show grace and give people that safe place to talk about, because you don't know what damage and how long they've held.
You know, it's a damn shame that, you know, we're going to have to stop listening to all the music in a minute. If they keep coming out with all these, you know, everybody say, stop listening to R. Kelly. Now we got to stop listening to P. Diddy and stop listening to Guy.
Well, I think the most important.
Jodeci, y'all involved too?
Oh no, they
Brother
better
Carter.
not be.
Oh,
Casey!
Nah, that's my girl. No.
Brother Carter.
No.
I think the biggest thing is that we have to stop idolizing people. They are human beings too. We get so caught up in the fanfare, and you don't know what someone's journey and sacrifice is. Just go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know, how you were saying earlier that it's not necessarily a man thing. I think it's a money and power thing.
There you go.
And I think the second, like you said, that you start to idolize somebody, they feel that sense of like, oh, well, I'm God. I can
Exactly
do whatever
what I
I
want to
want
do.
Nothing's going to happen to me. And for years, that's proven to be true because he could do whatever he wanted and no one said anything. People let it slide because, oh, that's P. Diddy. He's a mogul. He's all these things. He's, you know, he's a businessman. He's all like, and it's probably more common than you think. And that's the tea industry.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, there's so many things that come out about these people in Hollywood and these people in the industry who are really just taking advantage of their power and their fame. And I really do think that we should all be on edge with everybody.
Yes.
There should be not a single artist out there that you think is like, oh, they're this perfect person, because that's an image that they're painting. That's what they want you to see. But that might not be necessarily who they are.
Yeah, but it's one thing to take advantage of me, of my music and my talent. When you talk about getting in the bed with me, now part 2 of my killing sprees finna start.
Brother Carter, you can't say that.
Oh, I can't start.
No, you cannot say that.
Censor,
It's
brother.
censor,
Carter. That's
Brother
why
Carter.
some of the words were cut out in
You
the video.
can't say
Turn
that.
my mic.
Yeah. But I understand what he's. Let me see if I can clean that up for those that are listening. What he's saying is, you don't have to degrade yourself in order to go to the next level.
Right.
And it's unfortunate you're so power hungry and you want that fame so bad. You're willing to do just about anything, but you don't have to, because if God's in it, and you're doing what your calling is, it's going to do what it's supposed to do.
I just want to add
Go
one
ahead,
thing.
Tiffany.
I feel like too, money brings out what's really in a person.
Come on now.
Yes.
That's
Money brings out the real person. So a lot of these people that become famous, become well known, these are people that have a lot of demons in their closet and we don't know about it. But when their money comes, they feel like they can get away with things. They feel like they can pay people off. They feel like they're an exception to the rule. And so they get off into things and they do things privately, and they're hurting people and abusing people behind doors because they feel like they can get away with it until somebody comes and says, hey, this person did XYZ to me, and that's what triggers it.
Everything
So
that
the
you do
industry
at
is
night.
a great big penitentiary, sound like to me.
Well, I don't
They're
think that's
doing
just.
what they doing. That's what they do in penitentiary. You know?
Well, I think that
Right.
no matter what you do in the dark, it's going to always come to the light. Light will be shined on your darkness.
Right.
I do want to ask a quick question, just because, you know, in light of like, you know, the Me Too movement and things like that, there's this kind of saying, and I'm going to switch it up a little bit because I don't want to just isolate this to and put it off that like only women are victims,
Mhm.
but you know, they kind of say believe all women. So what do you guys think about the sentiment like believe all victims?
Well, I think that you got to use wisdom. You got to use you got to have some.
What's that
You got
word?
discernment.
Okay.
You know, and facts. You
Yeah.
know, I don't just believe any one person just because you can open your mouth and talk.
Mhm.
But what are you saying? What is your character like? What has
Mhm.
been your? Who are you? You
Mhm.
know. So I think try the spirit by the spirit.
Mhm.
Because I just want to add one more thing too. I do feel like people will rally on if and bandwagon if they see that it's somebody coming against someone. They're like, okay, I want some money too.
Mhm.
So that does happen as well. But also, I always feel like in every lie there is some truth.
Mm.
So even if some of these people that come forth are not necessarily telling the truth about
The whole truth.
everything, and they may not
Mhm.
be telling the whole truth, but the
Mhm.
whole accusation against him, period, there's some truth to this.
I agree 100%.
Even if it's like being exaggerated, which
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Mhm.
it is or it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, like you said, there's always some truth to it because not this many people would come forward about something if it was
Right.
just all
Mhm.
made
Yeah.
up.
And this
Right.
isn't something that just started hearing about. We've
Right.
heard
For
things over time
Mhm.
years,
that
yes, and
he's
then
done. So
he's done. So this is just now they're out there because this is
Mhm.
not just happening over the last few months or the years. So it's
Mhm.
kind of been out there for a while.
Right.
Good tea on the street.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just want to encourage anybody who is like going through this to not be afraid to speak up for yourself and to
Yes.
not be afraid to come forward. I think it is really scary, especially if the person you're dealing with is really powerful.
Mhm.
Because you know people are going to say nasty things about you.
Mhm.
But I just want to encourage anybody who might be a victim in any way to come forward, even if you don't necessarily want to press charges or go the legal route, to at least tell your story and at least tell somebody.
Mhm.
That's it right there, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that they're rich or powerful.
Mhm.
They may just have a mind control over you.
Absolutely.
And
Fine.
before that happened to you, just say no. You know,
How do you say no? When
say
you,
no when P Diddy, I'm just using his name. P Diddy have me. I'm an entertainer and I'm doing well.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden I'm off the grid. That's because I said no.
Mm.
Okay, then. Just-
Okay, so don't be ashamed to say no.
Mhm.
Take a L for it. You know,
okay, then.
because I'm not finna give up my holiness.
Okay.